Batavia down! There's more, lots more!
Folks, happy Sunday. Thanks again for joining us on the show where it is not wrestling with your conscience. It's not wrestling with your budget. This is wrestling with emotion. And for a fourth straight year now, the Forbidden Door has been unlocked. NJPW, CMLL, AEW all come together for one massive super show. And this year, it just happens to be held at the O2 Arena in London. One of AEW's best crowds is going to get one of the best shows of the year. And for that, I have the all-star panel intact. A fatal four-way, if you will. Your friend, our friend, my friend, Jake Micah, our head of the table, Michael J. Partham, and the Maniac himself back at the helm. Folks, how we doing? Ready for the Forbidden Door to open and us to run right on in yet again.
Absolutely. There's nothing better than weekend afternoon wrestling. So I'm very excited for the early start here. I think we got like 4 pre-show matches too. So really it's like noon Eastern. We're going to get off to a hot start, maybe even 11:30 before that. So very excited. How about you, Parthy?
Listen, whatever state AEW is in, whatever intrigue or lack of intrigue some of these matches might have, they sold out the O2 Arena in London, 17,000 people. AEW is still over in London. They may not be 80,000 in a stadium over, maybe now down to 50,000, and we'll see how those numbers track once they go back there for All In next year. But they can still sell out an arena no problem. They're still very popular in the UK. What about you, Maniac?
Yeah, obviously AEW should do a great show here. This is a great opportunity. It always feels a little weird this time of year when you come off the big All In not too long ago, but they've gotten a little bit better with the spacing and seems like they've gotten their storyline builds appropriately in here. Let's face it, Forbidden Door is about dream matches, boys. So with that said, let's get it out of the way. Some train wreck trivia presented by the region's premier entertainment destination, Batavia down.
Batavia down! There's more, lots more!
Keep it short and sweet. 31 years ago today, these two wrestling superstars faced off for the first time in a singles match.
94? Huh.
Is it
31 years ago today?
Is it Hogan and Flair?
It is rest in peace Hulk Hogan and Ric
WCW,
Flair
yes.
facing off.
I was about to say Bret Hart.
WCW. So, I mean, I just felt like that was kind of ironic, obviously. That was Clash of the Champions 28, according to the database, at 5 Seasons Center in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. You did not need to be a big market to get a big match back in the day. So, shout out big smaller markets get match.
Am I going to be a jerk if I throw in a technically there? Technically, it wasn't the first time that they faced off in a ring, just a televised match. Because WWE Vault, great as they are, they released a house show match between Hogan and Flair that occurred in WWE of all places. And both guys were carrying their belts to the ring. Flair still had the big gold belt at the time. So
if it didn't happen on TV.
We didn't see it on TV. Then,
obviously, yeah. It didn't WrestleMania like it should have.
I think they did just release that.
It's definitely a technicality, but yeah, I mean, like for the TV, like especially back then, like the TV had to see it for it to be a thing. So it's when we're not getting the house show angles and all that. But
there were title changes
we might have one more the rest of the night,
but
let's face it, that was a dream match to see on TV at that point, and hopefully we'll see some dream matches today on this card.
Yeah, shout out Maniac for the train wreck trivia. Hard hitting one. I didn't really see that one coming 31 years ago on the Forbidden Door preview show card, but you never know what to expect here on Wrestling with Emotion. Just like you don't know what to expect with some of these pre-show matches, you guys kind of got to preface me. I went in order of what Wikipedia had. I don't know what's pre-show and what's not, but I can certainly take a guess based on the shit show that some of these are. And I'm going to assume that this is a pre-show match. I don't think you even have to correct me if I'm wrong here. Paragon, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, El Desperado, Yuya Uemura versus CRU, Action Andretti, Leo Rush, and the Don Callis family, Hikaru and
Hechicero.
Yo
soy Hechicero.
Dude, oh my God. There's so many names on this.
This young guy Hikaru might be something.
Yeah. Once he debuts, yes. But anyway, we'll go around the horn. I'll go to Maniac first just to throw a wild card out because this is definitely a wild card of a match, but his Don Callis family is involved. So Maniac, who you got?
Yeah, this is weird because it's like Action Andretti and Leo Rush. I mean, are they going to really win a match? But I just got to go with my Don Callis family, Hedgesero and Josh Alexander. I mean, Josh Alexander, if he doesn't pick up a win pretty soon, he's just going to be wearing that headpiece for no reason. So give me team 2 in this one.
The headpiece is funny. Partham, what's up?
Yeah, these are the Don Callis jobbers as far as I'm concerned. Nobody cares about CRU. They kind of like Paragon, and they're putting them with a couple of Forbidden Door guys. I don't know who's from CMLL and who's from New Japan, but I say Team Paragon's going to win.
Yeah, simply the Paragon Paragon with a nice win over some jobbers, some enhancement talent last night. Rod and Todd going into momentum here, but yeah, they're going to win. El Desperado and Yuya Yamura is who you got to watch here. Definitely a big name for the next 5-10 years in New Japan. So excited to see him in this Forbidden Door action more than anything.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought you were pronouncing a completely new name into the fold. I was like, did I miss something on Wiki here? Oh, Maniac with the solo shot. Let's go.
Who just did that?
No idea. But this is tough for me because especially with Jake saying Paragon was going over the enhancement talent, aka our former EVPs last night. Stuff starts to get tough here, and I think Action Andretti, Leo Rush, putting them together in a heel spot. It's not by accident. They want them to kind of get some shine in some form, in some way. And the Don Callis family, you know, like Maniac said, Josh Alexander's just running around with a headpiece for no reason unless he starts picking up some W's. I am going to go with the CRU and family. So we have a split team on that one. But on to more pre-show madness. I would assume, like I say every time with this pre-show stuff, I'm going to assume because I don't actually have an official thing here.
I appreciate the audience helping us out, by the way. That is pre-show.
Okay, thank you. I didn't see that comment.
If you're looking at Wikipedia, the first 4 matches with the numbers on the side, they all have 1P, 2P, 3P. P means pre-show matches, if you look at it again. So basically the first 4 matches in order are pre-show.
I did miss the P's. However, I'll tell you, you can't always bank on this order because right now they have Christian and Cope as the main event over MJF and Hangman. So I'll just leave it at that.
No, the order has nothing to do with it. It's just the numbers that tell you whether a match.
Well, everything seems to be in order other than that. So I'll just leave it at that. Triangle of Madness plus what are we making this like the parallelogram of madness? Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Thekela, and Megan Bain with Penelope Ford, of course, versus Harley Cameron, Chris Statlander, Queen Aminata, and Willow Nightingale. Holy hell, this is like an all-star match of women that aren't always in the main event spot in AEW. So I'm really excited. But Jake, tell us what you think, because I know you're a fan of a lot of these women.
Well, it feels like with this specific, I mean, I guess it's a lot of different feuds going on at once, but it feels like they've been setting up for maybe a women's blood and guts for the first time here. They got 4-on-4 here. We got some other people who have been involved. I know Mike Mercedes, Tony, like the main eventers have been involved with some of these tag matches over the couple weeks here too, but it's nice to get them all on this card here. It makes sense, I think, here for the heels to go over in a big way. Megan Bain specifically, probably getting the win here, just the way that they protected her going forward, and having a unit actually against a group of friends. I'm just leaning towards the heels here, so I'll go with Triangle of Madness and Megan Bain.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Triangle because Megan Bain has all the momentum, and Thekla is relatively new, but they're pushing her as well as the leader of this, new Triangle group. The rest of them, I mean, they're popular, but I don't see anybody getting pushed to the moon anytime soon, as far as I'm concerned. So I'll just take the heels in this one.
Give me the parallelogram. Enough said.
There you go. We are going to have a clean sweep here because I think just forming these 3 mad women up all of a sudden, you got to start having them have wins. Megan Bain's over, as we know. Harley Cameron is all but a joke, other than a couple other things that I might not just blatantly say. And
the puppets?
Yeah, the puppets. And then the 3 other ladies, hell of a deal. But I think there might be some like confusion or something here with Harley Cameron messing around, because I think it just comes down to seriousness in this one. And that is why I will go with the parallelogram. Speaking of seriousness, we have quite this on our hands here. Jet Speed versus Michael Oku, GOA, Bishop Kong, and Tawa. Oh my God, I thought that was Aloha for a second. And Ricochet. I will kick to Jake again because I think he probably already has his opinion set on this.
I think this one's pretty easy. Michael Oku is the hometown guy. I think they give him and Jet Speed the big win here. And Ricochet and GOA are, as much as they are an upper card team, they've been taking a lot of L's recently. So I think it's fair to say that Jet Speed and Michael Oku are going to be positioned better.
Yeah, I think they like Jet Speed, not necessarily enough to give them the tag titles, but better than Gates of Agony and Ricochet. So I say Jet Speed.
Yeah, give me Jet Speed. I mean, nobody's a better loser in AEW than Ricochet. I mean, I think that's kind of what he's embraced from day one. So, I mean, I know he's, like you guys said, he's in the upper part of the card, but Jet Speed, I mean, with how they're being featured, they definitely need this win.
Thank God Invade Entity is here because he's hooked up with Nick Wayne and Mama Wayne, so he knows the order, not just the pre-show. If you're hooked up with Nick Wayne and Mama Wayne, send Mama Wayne my info, please. Thank you. As we continue on here, I think so. That's a clean sweep for Jet Speed. Obviously, the stuff backstage, Mike Bailey, hard to work with, or is it just the Hurt Syndicate being sore thumbs? We won't know, but we'll get to the Hurt Syndicate a little later. For now, the Ops, Samoa Joe, Katsuyori Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs versus Bullet Club War Dogs. Yes. Drilla Maloney, Clark Connors, and Robbie X. What a team. Clark Connors, big fan of his. I'll start with you, Maniac. What do you got?
In this one, I have got to go with the Ops. Bullet Club War Dogs, they're just, I mean, you know, bad branding. I'm sorry. If you're a sub brand of an already great stable, like, you know, even the Bloodline, at least, you know, like the MFTs, they connect themselves to the original Bloodline. So I got to go with the Ops here. The Ops need the momentum and they need this dub.
I was going to interrupt and say, does any of us not have the Ops winning this match? Because I think it's kind of obvious that they're going to retain. As far as the Bullet Club War Dogs, wasn't there like
you're all just going to copy me after that, after my great analysis, huh?
What? Don't, and you know, now you're copying the Prophet with his, you know,
no.
Let's not say his name or he'll appear.
Anyway, so what's up with the Bullet Club over in New Japan? They just had a civil war where like a faction led by Evil is broken off now because they lost a match or something like that.
Yes,
Jake, because you're the big
House
guy.
of Torture. I don't even think House of Torture is actually. I think they like
right.
dropped the Bullet Club designation too. So it is weird that they are the War Dogs because they're really the only Bullet Club going anymore too. So it's Bullet Club is kind of at that bloodline point where this is the MFT. This is not the Bullet Club.
Who's their leader? Who's the remaining Bullet Club leader?
Gabe is technically or David Finley is technically the leader, but that was what I was going to bring up about this. Is the interesting thing, and I don't know if they're going to do this, but there's been some theories going around that all this interaction with John Moxley is that John Moxley is actually the leader of Bullet Club War Dogs, and that's going to be the second iteration of this Death Riders thing. He's teaming with them in that match later on that we'll talk about.
Yeah,
the Death Riders have had major beef with the Ops leading into this match. I don't know if that's a fan theory, that's a thing, but Moxley's involvement with them has been peculiar, to say the least, since Gabe Kidd showed up with them.
Who do you say wins ultimately?
The Ops win. I think they go over here.
I'm changing our order on the fly here now too. So
Mox being with the Bullet Club War Dogs is a way to get me interested in the Bullet Club War Dogs. I will give them that.
Yeah, that's really interesting, actually, Jake. And it does come funny to me you saying they're the MFT now, because like I see Bullet Club and I'm like, where's the gold standard? Like, where's the guns up? So this is just not a Bullet Club that I am.
Is the Bullet Club stock at an all-time low right now?
I mean, maybe it's lowest since before the AEW days.
They're at NWO silver levels.
Yes,
wow. That's not. You never want to be NWO silver levels.
You certainly do not.
It's also like a state, like the overarching the state of this Forbidden Door card is also kind of a thing about New Japan in general and where their superstars are. Like their stars. I mean, well, first of all, their biggest stars are now AEW stars, so that's part of the thing here too. But like they haven't done a good job of really, putting a machine behind a couple guys to be on that. that wavelength. So we're kind of all just stuck with a lot of guys who are like, where are they at? Like, what are they doing? Because it's been so inconsistent.
Indeed. So that's another clean sweep for the ops due to confusion on the Bullet Club War Dogs side of things. Speaking of confusion, Partham has some confusion with this next one. I think we all do, based on AEW's social media team and just like the blatant miscommunication here. Hurt Syndicate versus Brodito versus FTR for the AEW tag titles. Partham, is this an elimination match? Is this a one fall triple threat? What do we think?
So on at least 2 occasions, like a tweet that went out immediately after the match was made, I think after the show on Dynamite Wednesday, said elimination match within the tweet itself. It didn't say it on the graphic. It said it in the tweet. And just today, they tweeted out a few hours earlier today the same thing. AEW tag title elimination match. Then just a few minutes ago, they were retweeting out all these matches, promoting them on Twitter. And I think there was one that maybe 20, 25 minutes ago was on the timeline. And I go to click on it and it said unable to be found or whatever message that is. Obviously, a deleted
great
tweet.
Booking by Tony Khan. Like fans literally don't know. And that's why you got to tune in. Like, what is going on with this match? Could it be a tornado tables match? This would be sick.
That'd be fun. But
the
I
thing
guess
that I'm going to remember this week for in wrestling history is this is the week where both companies decided after the show they had to change major things. AEW is changing this. WWE's like, Logan Paul, you didn't even come within 2 feet of hitting John Cena. We need to refilm that. And then they did. So what a historic week. And I think that'll be what we're looking back on 10 years from now.
What's even worse, sorry, real quick, Partham, for that John Cena Logan Paul thing, real quick. I think because I saw the botch clip first.
Yeah.
I think that aired live in Europe.
Yes.
Yeah, it did.
And then you go and change it for the
Oh, bro, it was that bad that they had to.
But we had all seen it already.
Yeah.
They know we live in an era where we just don't not see it live.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was just for the house show and then they shot something different for TV. It was 2 different TV feeds.
2 different TV feeds.
So speaking of doing business, the Hurt Syndicate doesn't seem like they're very interested in doing business.
It doesn't seem that way, even though they claim business is booming.
You know what though? I wouldn't be too interested in doing business if I was them either. And let me tell you why. They were killing it in the Fed, like we're just talking. Maybe that's why it's so fitting. And then they got dismantled for no reason. They let booking take them out of their situation, let them take their heat away from everything that they had worked for. Now they're back at the top of the mountain. They're arguably like a top 2 to 3 storyline in AEW. I think they got to be choosy with where they lose. And I think they've deserved that right. Listen, AEW, that's the free market. AEW is kind of the free wrestling market. And if you have a hot storyline, there's a reason Tony Storm retained from Mercedes Moné. It was because it made sense. You literally had the 2 hottest women's wrestlers, 1 and 2 going against each other, 1 retained. I don't fault the Hurt Syndicate for doing this, and they're all veterans. Like, these aren't like brash up-and-comers like saying they're better than the locker room. This is kind of actually understanding like the tone of the crowd to me. That's my take, Parthy. But do you think they're acting out of whack?
I think they know that they're the ones more than most that are presented on Dynamite that are presented like stars, that look like stars, that come across like stars. Now, is that because of where they came from, or is that because of AEW not knowing how to build up stars and book their own? I don't know. But they seem to they seem to like the smell of their own you-know-what. Or they seem to want to blow smoke up their own you-know-what. We got to keep it PG, brother. So,
Give me what I want.
Nah. We got kids watching. We can't, anyway. So word on the street is they've been going back and forth, and now it's back to being a 1 fall to a finish 3-way match.
I prayed for this and it happened.
Fuck. Sorry, I'm banned from that. I went for the
You
PG.
hit the wrong one, man.
PG, brother.
God,
there you go. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, I found it. So, all right. So let's go around the horn. Jake, why don't we start with you? It's a 3-way, 1 fall to a finish. Who you got in this scenario?
I just want to address real quick. Do we have like a safety net based on this stipulation?
So you
Right
mean
now
should we pick both ways?
Well, right, the tweet from 24 minutes ago from AEW does not have the elimination stip.
Okay, let's just go.
So I think let's just
I'm seeing that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just go.
let's
with
just
that.
ride with
They,
that.
they
But
clearly they clearly corrected themselves if they deleted and reposted. So,
But it's just funny, like the fact that they've gone through these machinations as we're discussing clearly means that they have not been able to figure out, like up until today, have been trying to figure out how to book this match and how to lay it out. If we're making picks, like we're doing this in the way we have to. I'm just gonna pick the Hurt Syndicate because like I don't know what else. I'm just trusting that they're putting themselves over here. And honestly, if they do FTR, if they want to do FTR versus Cope and Christian in Toronto, they don't need the tag titles for it. Maybe those guys want the tag titles for it, but it doesn't need the tag titles. So I'm just sticking with the Hurts.
You know what? You know what? I'd say either way it might be the Hurt Syndicate because Cope and Christian have been saying, we'll take care of your problem, then we'll take care of my problem next. And after they take care of Kill Switch and Kip Sabian, spoiler on my pick later. But I might have a feeling that in order to protect FTR, if they're not going to go over in this scenario, maybe Copeland wanders down to ringside now that he doesn't have that restraining order on him. And, maybe not gets directly involved, but makes his presence known to FTR just enough to distract them where they're at an advantage. And then all of a sudden Hurt Syndicate takes them down and Hurt Syndicate goes over and retains the titles. And FTR now has more immediate beef with Christian and Cope, and Christian's going to be able to help him out. So I'll say the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, there's just too much behind the Hurt Syndicate for me to go and say that FTR is going to win the titles just so they can put them on Edge and Christian in Toronto or something. Like, I don't know. I think that's too bamboozled for me. So give me the Hurt Syndicate in this one. But I will say, if FTR wins, the fans did get kind of worked then, right? On the whole dirt sheets party.
Well, the dirt sheets were saying that Hurt Syndicate were refusing to lose to FTR straight up. So the idea of a three-way might have been that FTR can pin Brodito and Hurt Syndicate wouldn't have to.
Okay, so they'd have to pin them. Okay, but that would be the juxtaposition there. All right.
If FTR pins the Hurt Syndicate, then either the dirt sheets got worked or Tony actually put his foot down for a change.
Ooh.
The fact that it's not an elimination match and Brodito's in it is
that's where I'm going. So I'm going to take
worrisome.
a chance to go one up on everyone, and I'm going to have Brodito pinning FTR, and then we're going to have Brodito and the Hurt Syndicate again. I just think Brodito has momentum with the crowd, and like this, the fact that they're doing elimination match and then they're like backtracking. Brodito's still in this against like these two big marquee tag teams in AEW. I just think you could create a really special moment here. So I'm going to use this opportunity to try and go one up. I will ask everyone too. I'll ask it for the main event as well. Do we see MJF in any capacity here, or is he focused on Hangman?
I don't think MJF is hung up on the Hurt Syndicate anymore. The Hurt Syndicate was asked by Renee, what about all the drama going on? They basically said drama. There's no drama. So they're certainly not.
They said there's no drama.
Right. But MJF really hasn't mentioned the Hurt Syndicate or, expressed any bitterness toward them. He's been focused solely on, goading Hangman into a match. So I don't really see MJF, creating a problem where there isn't one anymore.
Agreed. It is tough. I think it'll come back eventually, but to say here's the spot, I don't know. I want to shout out everyone tuning in on Instagram, including the man_Carter, who said in the chat 66, 67 twice, and then said, we need a wide receiver. I appreciate the input, man Carter, but this is not the show where we wrestle with wide receiver roster spots. We wrestle with emotion. So with that being said, we're on to the next match. And that happens to be Kyle Fletcher, TNT champion of AEW, versus Hiromu Takahashi. Haven't seen Takahashi here in AEW for a bit. I'll go to Micah first because this is kind of right up his alley. And Kyle Fletcher looking to put this TNT title at new heights. Micah, who you got and why?
I love Hiromu Takahashi, one of the best wrestlers in New Japan, one of the best junior heavyweights I've seen in this century. Honestly, he's had some incredible matches. That being said, this is just to put the protostar over in the biggest way possible. He's obviously changed his physique the last couple of years. He's getting bigger. He looks like he's filled out the last 4 years. if you follow him on TikTok, it shows his whole workout program. He's trying to get to 260, guys. That
How
man,
much? Do you know how much he is right now?
he's like 235, he says.
Dude,
So,
he's
that's
huge.
5 pounds in like a couple years. So it's going to be I like what they did here because it's going to give an opportunity for us. We've seen Fletcher do a lot of the athletic stuff, a lot of the high flying, but we know he's got the power in him. And against Takahashi, the power moves are going to look real incredible. And honestly, this crowd's going to love Kyle Fletcher. So I'm excited for this, but Fletcher's going over.
Yeah, Fletcher just won, and they're not dropping it to a New Japan guy. Kyle Fletcher's going to win.
Kyle Fletcher is AEW's guy for sure. Takahashi going to put on a show. Fletcher wins.
Yeah. I think you guys said it best. Obviously, Fletcher, an Aussie boy, a little bit biased to him. And I'd like to see him come into this star role, kind of like how they rolled it out for Will Ospreay. It's cool to see the guy alongside him getting kind of the same treatment. So
we could have a lot of egg on our face, but the Forbidden Door card always does tend to be a little bit more lopsided because you don't have as much of the a proper build up, and then guys are coming from other companies, and there just seems like there's more especially in the championship spots when there's a title at stake for sure.
Agreed. And maybe with reason too, these shows. But this next match, we all kind of have not a part in because he's not in the match, but Zack Sabre Jr. What's this title? Jake, what's this title? The NJPW?
The IWGP World Heavyweight title.
Yep. World Heavyweight. Oh my goodness. Okay. Versus Nigel McGuinness. McGuinness been on his kind of little return run in AEW, and he's going to be joined ringside by Buffalo's own Daniel Garcia. I'm going to start off. This is real suspicious to me. Nigel doesn't seem to have many matches left. You had an article yesterday. He's saying he thanks Tony Khan for allowing him to do this last run. It wouldn't have been possible anywhere else. Feels like it's coming to a wrap. And Zack Sabre Jr., obviously one of the best young technical wrestlers in the world today, and is kind of NJPW, one of their guys. And McGuinness isn't wrestling over there at the moment. I can't see him going to do it with how much time he has left. So I'm going to have Zack Sabre Jr. retaining because Daniel Garcia is going to screw over Nigel McGuinness. You hate to see it, but Danny needs some spotlight. Nigel's been trying to take a little bit too much, and I don't think Danny's going to be too happy about that. Maniac, who you got?
The only suspicious thing is what role is Daniel Garcia going to play on all this? Is he going to be shenaniganizing for hardcore? Or is he going to be more smart? But yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that Sabre Jr. is dropping this title to Nigel McGuinness, who's essentially in his August of his farewell tour, similar to another legend at this point. So give me Zack Sabre Jr. ZSJ to retain.
Yes, like you said it. I mean, Daniel Garcia is involved, but even though Nigel asked for it, it's not like Daniel Garcia interjected himself here. But feeling down and out about not getting this opportunity and now basically being in the corner of the guy who beat him, I don't think Daniel's going to be very happy about that. Besides which, of course, Zack Sabre is not dropping the IWGP title to an AEW guy, unless it's Jon Moxley. But we've been there, done that. Yeah, I can see. I'm seeing Daniel Garcia going heel. Nigel's not going to win. Zack Sabre's going to retain, and we'll see where we go with DG.
Yeah, this is the most forbidden of the Forbidden Door matches, right? Nigel being in this, just in general, him being back is an awesome thing. But for the Brit wrestling fans, this is their dream, one of their dream matches, right? Seeing Nigel back in London against one of their other own sons, Zack Sabre Jr. They called it the four-way. They called the technical spectacle a couple weeks ago on Collision. That's what this is going to be. This is going to be a technical wrestling, just an incredible technical spectacle. I guess that's the best way to put it. Let's just say what it is. But I think Danny's here for the vehicle to fully embrace the Red Death as he used to be and turn heel. I don't know if it's going to be any shenanigans during the match. I honestly think he's going to be just a supportive guy during the match, but then once the match is over, I think we get a pretty nasty beat down to Nigel, honestly.
Yeah, so kind of all on the same page there. Shout out also to Daniel Garcia. He will be in Buffalo on August 28th for
Oh,
West Side Gun Day, taking
lo-
on
lo-
Joe Alonzo at Buffalo Riverworks. So
gotta
quick
think
turnaround.
Garcia's minus a million. There's no odds. It's just how soon it'll be over with. But
There's no odds on that, but like also real quick, like you turn him heel, and then like what a better place to go home to than Buffalo, where you're not gonna get that heel reaction right away. So West Side Gun Day, shout out to that Maniac, as you were saying.
No, very entertaining. Speaking of which, let's go to some Trainwreck trivia presented by the Regions
Yes!
Entertainment Destination.
Batavia now is more, lots more.
We just talked about Zack Sabre Jr. and his match coming up tonight at Forbidden Door. Who did Zack Sabre Jr. face in the inaugural Forbidden Door event in 2022?
Claudio Castagnoli.
What a snipe by Parthy.
Because it was supposed to be Brian Danielson and he got
It
hurt.
was supposed to be
Yes.
Danielson, yes.
There
It was
you
the
go.
debut of
So,
Claudio.
The debut.
Wow,
of
it was.
Claudio
And Micah, you
Castagnoli.
were there, no?
Look at it,
I was
see?
there, yes.
That was some pretty
Yeah.
good. Shout out the Regions Premier Entertainment Destination. Slick, keep us rolling here.
I will do just that, Maniac. We have another tag match, one that many didn't think they would see again. Cope and Christian, just under a new name, versus Kill Switch and Kip Sabian with Mother Wayne, of course.
I think we got to talk.
Invade Entity if you're still in the chat. Like I said, send my info. What's up?
I think we got to talk backstage with this first because
Sure.
don't we all agree like there should have been like a little bit better build to this point?
Yes.
So why didn't that happen?
Yeah.
So it apparently it was supposed to happen at All In, but Christian wanted to finish this patriarchy stuff.
Okay.
And we're not even finishing the patriarchy stuff now because Nick Wayne's hurt. So this is what happens when you try to bulldoze plans and try to set up the perfect matches. That's why I'm always run the match when you have it, because things happen like this. So that was the rumor going around. It's not I think an uncommon thought that Christian and Cope use their backstage power quite often. So that's where I'm at with it.
I feel like they overbooked because they got behind of the booking. Like they should have they shouldn't have had the Cope come out and be like, you know, go figure it out or like whatever that was. What they should have done is they should have just had Kill Switch and Kip Sabian and everybody turn on Christian and just promoted it as a handicap match. That's what it was. And they could have gone into this with this. And that would have been like, and they could have done the twist right at the show instead of being like this wonky like booking where like Edge basically has to say like, because they narrowed it down to like basically one segment. So like Cope basically had to be like, yeah, Christian's an asshole, but he's my asshole. Like, you know, like because nothing else would make sense because the timeline was so constricted. But that's the only injustice in all this. I'm super excited for Cope and Christian to be tagging again. Edge and Christian show was also forgotten in all this. That was one of the original reasons the WWE Network was so successful back in the day. A lot of people tuned in for that show. Some great content. But yes, I mean we can talk the match now, but they got to basically convince people that they're going to win for 15 to 18 minutes and then get their shtick in and win.
Seems about where it's at. Partham, what do you think? Is that your pick, Maniac? Cope, Chris?
Yeah, I got Cope and Christian for sure.
Yeah, Cope and Christian. It's nice to see Kill Switch not only back in the ring, but you know, healthy enough to just have a life because it seemed like it was touch and go from the reports that we were hearing that he was basically in the hospital for reasons that I'm not even sure we even heard about. But an appropriate substitution for Nick Wayne, if nothing else. But Cope and Christian got to get some momentum going into their FTR match, so it's definitely going to be Cope Christian.
Yep, well said. It's Cope and Christian. It's going to be awesome to see the reaction they get being together, and I can't wait to see them. I can't believe we're finally seeing them together on television again. It's wild. First time since what did they say? I think it was first time since 2003.
Yeah,
is that right? That they're tagging together?
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Mad funny though that like in a way I do kind of miss like top heel Christian when he had that run for like 9 months where he was just like killing everyone about their father and And I
hard
bring
to
it
beat
up
that.
because it's like even when he named Kill Switch was kind of like a moment. Like he changed Luchasaurus to Kill Switch. It was fucking mad funny.
Names his right hand of doom.
My ultimate weapon
after his very own finisher. I mean,
Yes.
you just can't make that shit up.
Unbelievable.
It's pretty
But
good.
Should be a good match.
Definitely, two legends. You will always tune in when they're teaming up in a wrestling ring, and even when they're not. Obviously, some great head-to-head battles as well back in the day. Next one, not just head-to-head, head-to-head. Mercedes Moné, the CEO, looks to defend no championship advantage against Alex Windsor, Persephone, and Bazilla. I mean, god damn, Mercedes. I know she's got what 9 belts, but like gotta you could take it a little easy on her if at this point, Tony. I'll kick it to you, Jake. Actually, who doesn't have Mercedes?
Nobody.
Oh,
Oh.
whoa! Is that a hand up?
She lost the New Japan Strong match in a 4-way title match.
Wait, wait. Is this
She lost
title
her
is this?
New
What
Japan
title is it?
Strong. This is the TBS title. She lost
Okay.
her New Japan title. My brother, I got to give him credit because he brought that up to me. I was like all on Mercedes. She lost it in a 4-way. This seems like a spot they could put Windsor over and have her pin somebody else. And Mercedes, the point of getting up to this mass amount of belts is to lose them all one by one eventually. It's got to start somewhere. I think it starts tonight, Forbidden Door. They got to have a shocker somewhere.
I agree with all that, and I agree it's likely going to be in a multi-person match, just like the Strong title, which I was thinking about. I just don't think it's necessarily going to be Alex Windsor. I think she just got here. I think
Tony
she can be
did call
popular,
her.
but
Tony Khan the other day said that she isn't just one of the best new superstars; she's one of the best superstars on their roster. Wrestlers.
High praise.
I just don't see it. She could be. She's just not there yet. As far as being in front of the AEW audience.
If anyone's
I
pulling
agree.
me
If
upset in this
she's
one,
going to
it's
drop, it's going to be in
Bozilla.
a multi-person match.
Bozilla is gonna win some people over today. She's incredible, legit.
Hey, I'll be tuning in for Bozilla. So Mike's got Alex Windsor. I see what you're saying. I just don't think the first belt that they go and have her drop is TBS, the one that is on the marquee show of theirs. But
You know
nonetheless,
what? I think that actually makes sense. You have to have her drop the marquee belt first before she goes and drops the other belts, because then she'd look weak as the TBS champion if she just goes dropping, half these independent promotions that we've never heard of in their belts.
this is true. It's a good point. But good points all around, and nothing but championship and stipulation matches from here on out. Nextly, this is one that I think we're all really excited for, but we might know an outcome based on some news we heard earlier this week. Kazuchika Okada looks to defend Continental Championship against whose house? Swerve's house. Swerve Strickland. The reports came out earlier this week that Swerve may have been wrestling the past couple years on a torn meniscus, which is absolutely batshit crazy. How much stock we buy into it, who knows? It could, whether the injury is that serious or just a little, but it does make you lean one way. Maniac, what you got? I know Swerve's your guy.
Yeah, Swerve is definitely my guy, so I hate to hear that, but I'm also very proud of my guy for obviously having the run of his career the last 5 years, obviously getting cut from WWE when he kind of almost rode that, almost got to the top of the mountain there. And then obviously seizing that moment in AEW. At the end of the day, though, this is the business, right? And Swerve Strickland got a great run as the champ. He's gotten a great run on TV. He's gotten to be the main character for years in a spot he's earned. If he's hurt right now, he's got to go off TV. He's got to get himself ready for another run with AEW. So his job right now is to obviously put Okada over, the coin drop. Okada's had a great run in AEW. He's actually done way better on the mic and everything. I've been more impressed with the mic work and the timing and the comedy there than the in-ring work. That sounds crazy. And that's not to diss the in-ring work, because obviously it's good, but I knew that was good. I'm more impressed with the skits and everything. But hopefully this is a great match. I wouldn't be surprised if Swerve puts him over in cinematic fashion. But yeah, I got Okada, Parthy.
Yeah, I got Okada, not just for, whatever vacation or break time Swerve might have to take in the interim. But Okada, it's another scenario where you just won the title. They're trying to put it as a secondary world title. I don't know if it's going to be like exclusive to Collision in that regard, but yeah, I think Okada's got to retain here.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think Okada retains. This is another one of those matches where if Okada a couple years ago is a New Japan wrestler, this is like the ultimate Forbidden Door matchup, right? Like, so it's still a matchup it's still fresh. It's still a dream match. So I'm really excited to see how these two work together. But yeah, Okada's not losing anytime soon. And if the rumors are true about Swerve, I mean, first of all, yeah, what a warrior to be able to go do what he's done on that. But he definitely, even if he wasn't hurt, bro deserves some time off for sure. So hopefully he gets better, gets healthy soon. But yeah, I got Okada here.
Yeah, we're going to have an Okada sweep. Kind of makes sense. Swerve and Ospreay in that stipulation versus the Bucks now, kind of like putting that on the line. Maybe they knew something about Swerve back then. I don't know, but you guys all made great points. In my opinion, this is going to steal match of the night, and it might not even be close. Like you said, Micah, if Okada wasn't All Elite a couple of years ago, this would have been top of the list on a lot of people's dream matches. Shout out to Swerve. He gave us like one of the best runs ever at the top of AEW, and then obviously elevating World Championship. What's up?
I do have some news that will affect our order of picks here, because Excalibur just confirmed that the Lights Out Steel Cage is the main event of the night.
Holy shit.
Really?
Okay, I was going to go to that next. I'm going to throw that right to the end. Sweet. So we got an Okada sweep, and what I was going to say something else. Totally forgot what it was. That's okay. Shout out to Swerve. If the rumors are true, heal up. We love you having you wrestle on our TV, and we hope to have you back soon if all is the case. But Okada clean sweep. Might be another clean sweep here, but actually, now that I think about it, a lot less likely that we have a clean sweep here.
You know who is gonna, you know who? A Micah.
Oh, I know what I was going to say.
This is not even that crazy of a one.
Oh yeah, go bet a 7-point dog in the NFL, Micah. It's not that crazy.
It's going to take 2 seconds to say what I was going to say. I got Kazuchika Okada. Bitch. All right, now that we're done.
That was not worth going back for.
Well, I did. We need a bitch clip in here somewhere.
We do.
Intern, get on that. Timeless Tony Storm versus Athena. Athena is someone that a lot of people, thought could have been in this spot a very long time ago. Obviously, she had the battle with Mercedes. We think she'll be back there at a point maybe as well. Timeless coming off the biggest victory of her career at All In versus Mercedes. So this one could potentially be a toss-up, but I just feel like our panel is going to sweep. I'll go to Maniac. I know who he's going to pick, so I'll let him start.
Yeah, to be truthful, and this is 100%. If this was 3 to 5 months down the line, I could totally have seen this being the Athena spot and having Timeless Tony's run being done, and she could have handed the baton. It's just so close after the Mercedes win that I don't like. I mean, I guess this would put over Athena in like the craziest way, right? Like, I guess if you're gonna make a star, like this is how you do it for sure. Like, and by the way, Athena's already a star. Like, that's disrespectful that I even just rhetoric like that, but. We're talking superstar, megastar within AEW with the championship. So with that said, I just have to go with my girl here, Timeless Tony Storm. I also just think that Timeless Tony Storm is probably the most certain thing that AEW has right now. Am I crazy to say that? And maybe like Tony is not like anxious to like alter that in any way.
I think she's literally like your 2021 Kenny Omega.
Yeah, or your 2019 Becky Lynch. For sure. So with that said, I'm going to go with Timeless Tony Storm. Parthy, what do you got?
I agree that if it was further down the line, we might see Athena be the one to be handed the baton. Athena really should have been the one to face Mercedes for a TBS championship match at All In. And then I would put Athena over Mercedes in that regard. But having Athena go right after Mercedes and then Athena winning, especially when she's in the same boat as Mercedes, not as many belts, mind you, but she's in the same boat as having a belt within the AEW ROH umbrella. And the possibility of winning, the main belt, which I thought was going to happen for Mercedes. Obviously, it didn't. Obviously, they didn't want a double champ scenario within AEW. So why would they want a double champ scenario between AEW and Ring of Honor, especially when she's gone so long with that Ring of Honor championship? And I mean, if you put the world title on her, then she's got to drop that world title, I think, before she drops the Ring of Honor title, which is going to extend that world championship reign even longer than it already has. So I just see Timeless Toni Storm retaining here.
Yep, I'll take Athena. I'll take the chance to pick this up. First of all, she's plus 400, the lowest of all the singles odds compared to any other match.
Here we go.
And I think the crowning achievement of the Toni thing was the all-in match. I think that was we're cementing Toni as the legend. She beat Mercedes Moné in a stadium in the States. That was it. It doesn't get bigger than that. And this is the chance to put over Athena, who people have been begging and asking for to be in this spot. She's not thought of by this audience as someone who's not capable or that shouldn't be in this position. People have been begging for her to be in this position. So I think they do it. I think Athena wins.
Wow.
It's a bold prediction, Con. Let's see if it pays off.
I'm going to go with Toni Storm. The only way I see Athena is if they really do want to do that and be like, okay, Athena just did what Mercedes couldn't. She did what everyone else couldn't and beat the women's world champion, Timeless Toni Storm. Just don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to go with the Timeless
to Micah's credit, this is like one of the closer odds overall on the card. There are like every other match is basically like plus 600, minus 1,000. So,
and that's kind of like you were saying earlier, Maniac, kind of right up the Forbidden Door alley a little bit. Yeah, kind of a common theme, but yeah, the odds speak for this one. Okay, with that being said, Micah, the outlier, the rest of us on Timeless. And we're going to go to the World Championship match because we just got breaking news about the main event that we'll get to after. But Hangman Adam Page versus Maxwell Jacob Friedman cashing in his guaranteed contract, which Hangman kind of baited him into. But now Hangman doesn't have this championship advantage. If he loses by countout or disqualification, he loses the championship. Kind of random. Did not really see that coming into play. I will let Jake start us off because he's a Hangman guy. And what do you make of the stipulation thing, Jake?
So I believe that he didn't use the cash in either. That was the last part of that segment the other day too. So with that being said, that basically. Wait,
yeah, hang on. Does that mean he still has one?
Yeah, he has. He still has the title.
Third
shot.
stipulation that he has.
Oh my god. We could probably make this
no champion's advantage.
Yeah, so I think this is pretty. I think it's pretty cut and dry that Hangman's retaining here still because of all the advantages that go MJF's way. And honestly, the story they're telling with MJF is on his way to being the more despicable, more evil, more vile than he's ever been, and they're using Hangman's purity and position as the biggest babyface in this company right now to kind of vehicle that. I don't know what lengths MJF's going to end up going to get this title. He will get it at some point. It's not going to happen tonight, though.
Yeah, if MJF was using the contract, then this match would be a little more up in the air. But since he still has that Seth Rollins Money in the Bank sort of Damocles hanging over Hangman, they can either do that tonight, like right after, but now that it's not the main event, I'm not so sure. They might do it down the line again, but one way or another, if MJF still has his contract, he's not cashing in for this match, then I say Hangman in this particular match, the advertised one, that Hangman's going to retain. Now, if this was the main event, I still can't shake this feeling that we're being worked by the Hurt Syndicate, that MJF is still behind the scenes working with them. Ooh. Call me crazy, but it would be the perfect scenario where Hangman retains and then MJF sort of calls in reinforcements and starts using his Dynamite Diamond Ring to hammer on Hangman. And then, all his buddies like, Ospreay and Swerve are going to try and interfere, and the Hurt Syndicate is standing in their way. And MJF gets the title that way on sort of like if you go back to WrestleMania 31, obviously everybody remembers that Seth Rollins made it a triple threat for the heist of the century, but we forget that Seth Rollins lost earlier that night, and he still walked out with the championship. I don't know, but the fact that this is not the main event anymore, or not the main event, as we've now found out, I think there's going to be a little less shenanigans than we might expect. So I'm just going to say Hangman retains straight up, and MJF considers using the contract, but then thinks better of it and, walks out.
Parthy.
What?
This is why despite you sitting at the head of the table, everyone is jousting for that spot. It's because you got the spark notes right. You got the basics right. Yes, Hangman is going to retain, but no shenanigans. Parthy, that's the whole point of the stipulations. If you don't think that the first 12 minutes of this match is going to be MJF trying to get Hangman counted out,
he will.
MJF trying to get Hangman disqualified, I expect some Eddie Guerrero type situations for sure. There are going to be, he is going to try everything in the book besides actually beating Hangman Adam Page to win this title. So for you to say there's not going to be any shenanigans, no, what you got to admit,
I count shenanigans as outside interference.
Yeah, but by definition, I think you're going to be seeing them in this match in this form. With that said, I think you'll get another. These two have had a couple of matches in AEW. Do we remember what their first match was for in 2019?
Was it the Dynamite?
Batavia now is more, lots more.
Dynamite Diamond Golden Ring?
The Dynamite Diamond Ring. MJF defeated Adam Page in 7 minutes, and ever since, Adam Page has gotten the best of MJF in their one-on-ones, going back to AEW Revolution 2025. They last faced off. With that said, this should be a crazy match, but you got to think, that Adam Page retains due to the stipulation of MJF still retaining the championship opportunity.
Yeah, I'm also on Hangman Adam Page, obviously heavily influenced by the fact that you guys just informed me that MJF still has a title shot after all this, even if he loses. So I kind of was thinking like maybe there's some interference, Hurt Syndicate, maybe they go to screw over MJF. Partham, when you mentioned that stuff, I was maybe even thinking if Hurt Syndicate is still with MJF, they could literally just beat Hangman's ass until he's counted out outside the ring. But given that this all doesn't even matter and MJF still has a title shot, I think like what Maniac said, the first 10 minutes of this is just going to be like comedic, which Maxwell does so well, tying in the comedic and making it seem like it's actually serious as well. So, but then after all that, it's going to be a lost cause because Hangman's going to retain. And like Jake said as well, MJF will get this title at some point. It's just probably not going to be tonight. But with that being said, we are at our main event of the evening. The Golden Lovers, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Darby Allin, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Will Ospreay versus the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli, Jon Moxley, and Ron and Todd and Gabe Kidd. Doing my best Excalibur there. I want to go and make a plea here that like this time between SummerSlam and like November is Steel Cage season because everyone is doing their own form of war games these days. I was watching GCW last night. They're doing a war games. This is a lights out Steel Cage, 2 cages together. Basically the same thing. War games will be coming up down the line, and then there's one other. TNA does something like this too, I believe.
To credit that, last year during that window, you had Hell in a Cell with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre.
There you go, and then
one of the best matches of the last year.
And then Blood and Guts probably won't be that far away either. So if we can go ahead and just make this window, change it from fall, whatever, Steel Cage season in wrestling.
Steel Cage season's pretty sick.
I think that's appropriate.
Are we so sure that Blood and Guts is happening? Is this not the substitute for Blood and Guts, and they aren't doing that because they couldn't ship a second ring over to the UK?
It would be a great excuse.
That's why I think the women are doing the Blood and Guts this year.
Well, that would be awesome. But if there's one forbidden door that all companies can break, I think it's just calling this time of year Steel Cage season. I think we can all get behind that.
I love it.
But this match, this is the match for a match like Steel Cage season. A lot of crazy MFers in this match, if I will say so myself. Maniac, start us off. Who plays into what feud goes into what here, and ultimately what team comes out on top?
I mean, I'm obviously rooting for Team 1, but I just feel like with the way things are going in AEW, the Young Bucks, Death Riders. I mean, if if Moxley's still going to be showing up every week, I would have bet any money that we would not be seeing him for a couple of months after he lost it all in. Instead, he's just been more involved and more all over storylines. So if they're going to keep doing what they're doing, then Team 2 needs this win. Death Riders, Young Bucks, and Gabe Kidd. I think it'll be a spot fest. I think it'll be the match of craziness, especially if it's the main event. But I think Team 2 gets the win here. They are pretty significant underdogs on the spread.
Wait, you said Team 2? Which?
Yeah,
team
the second team we have listed there. Death Riders.
I wrote this down as Team AEW versus Team Death Riders, basically.
Yes.
All right. So we all know about Will Ospreay, and he's going to be in this match regardless of whether he's actually medically cleared or not. He wants to be in the UK Forbidden Door match, and we expect him to take some time off of this afterwards, not unlike Swerve Strickland. They already did a next spot with him at All In. I have this feeling that they're going to try and do another spot with him. Maybe, I don't know if they want to go near his neck again, but if they have a safe way to do it and they can make it look bad as a way to write him off TV, then they'll probably do that. I think the Death Riders and the Jobber Bucks need a little bit of momentum going into whatever they're going forward with, especially because the Moxley Darby match is a big foreshadowing of what's been going on. And I think Darby might want to have a little extra motivation to get revenge for, them taking out Will Ospreay and whatever else goes on here. A bit of an unceremonious return for Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, especially being in the same match at the same time. But yeah, I think it's the last match, and as much as the heels going over in the last match would be a little bit of a downer, I think the Death Riders are going to win. And it's safe to say that with the cage outside the ring, it's basically a Hell in the Cell without a roof. It's going to be surrounding the ring, so it's going to be a nice enough space for everybody to get their stuff in and start jumping off of stuff. I know Darby's probably going to do that. It's going to be like Jay says, it's going to be crazy as
It's
shit.
gonna be crazy as shit.
Let's go.
Well said, yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna this match for me is just I'm gonna go full real sports breakdown here. We've got the Death Riders on one side, Moxley, former champion, Claudio, strongman, just a beast. The Young Bucks, one of the greatest tag teams of all time, and Gabe Kidd, one of the best young wrestlers. We on the other side got Will Ospreay, who's gonna get neck surgery. You got Hiroshi Tanahashi, who's got no knees. You got Kenny Omega, who has half of his guts missing. You got Kota Ibushi, who knows what he's gonna look like, and you got Darby Allin. For me, it's just it's simple as that. It's the old beat up guys versus the young, well-oiled machine team who's worked together before. I'm going with the heels. I'm going with the Death Riders. Somebody posted on Instagram something very interesting the other day where I think this crowd goes home happy, though. Eddie Kingston posted a picture of him in front of the Forbidden Door poster. Just no patch, no nothing else. Death Riders beat down leading into an Eddie Kingston return to chase him out of the ring. Feels like the way you could send this crowd home in a frenzy and a way to have something very exciting to lead into Dynamite on Wednesday with.
I mean, when Eddie's been posting, he's been pretty down on his prospects of returning to the ring soon. He feels like he's ready, but he hasn't been given the clearance. Obviously, they could keep that under the wraps and give us a nice big surprise. But getting Eddie through customs in the UK, I mean, that'd be an accomplishment.
That's true.
So, Maniac, you're on Death Riders. Jake, you're on Death Riders. Partham, who are you on?
Death Riders.
Wow. Okay. Another opportunity for Slick to gain the head of the table. I'm going to go with Team AEW. It just feels like there's too many guys.
They're
on
also the favorites. They're minus 300.
I mean, these are just guys that you put in ring in AEW and you totally expect to win. Will Ospreay after that emotional, it seemed like a farewell, basically.
We got Sharps on the AEW panel.
I want him to go out on top. I think that's a possibility. And also with these guys, the reunion of the Golden Lovers as well. The Bucks been jobbing out lately. I think they'll get the short end of the stick in this match somehow. I could also see, to your point, Partham, Will Ospreay potentially just getting totally taken out of this match if you want to write him off TV. Yeah, but I do think I lean towards him going out victorious with these guys as well. And Jake, whether Eddie Kingston maybe plays a role if the Death Riders have a number up on this team AEW at a point, I think that would be the perfect way to send a Forbidden Door crowd home happy, especially in London. That O2 arena would pop. I mean, the roof might even like burst, to be honest, in that place. So I'm gonna go with Team AEW. Hell of a main event for Steel Cage season and the lights out steel cage match, but another crazy show that we're just under an hour away from getting underway with. But honestly, these pre-show matches, we might be underway very much sooner. If not,
they're underway.
We're going.
They are.
I believe, I believe
We're
we're
good.
about halfway there.
Okay,
They did a
so
90-minute pregame show. Ricochet and Co are just entering the ring now. We are 50 minutes away. Yeah, they're I think they're at match 3 so far of the pre-show.
They're
by the
already
way,
at match 3 of the pre-show.
I think so. They've definitely
at least one other one. Yeah,
at least one is in the books. And there's
What do we
another
have?
one
What
starting right
do we have a result of?
You know, I
Paragon
didn't
win.
see the end. I think I only saw it. Was it Ishii that came out?
Ishii came out. Yeah.
Okay.
that chased down the Callis
Listen, I'm
family.
not very well
Yeah.
versed. I'm like, I think that's Ishii.
Yeah.
Wait, like the
So I think the Callis family
Stone
won.
Pitbull.
Yeah, dude. Literally, the Stone Pitbull came out.
Wait for the family.
They need
to fight off the family.
Yeah,
Damn.
to fight off
He
the-
had a great match with Takeshita last night too. So it makes
Oh, dude,
Go
Takeshita
ahead.
can have a great match with a fucking broomstick.
Jesus, man. All right. Well, the Stone Pitbull has returned, and for
Dude, it was awesome, dude. I
is
didn't even have sound, but
underway.
it was awesome.
Oh my
Returned.
God. I can just see him walking down that ramp right now.
Yeah, dude.
All right, folks. Shout out.
Returned
sign
like he
off
hasn't
before we-
hasn't been on TV every other month.
I'm gonna shout out Tony Khan, who doesn't get run over and stands up for himself all the time, unlike what Parthy said earlier and gave an indication otherwise. That wasn't very appropriate from our head of the table to do that. So I'm gonna make sure that Tony Khan knows we respect him and his decision making. Speaking of decision making, Jeff Jarrett's on the pre-show panel. Remember, like 9 months ago when he was trying to have that last like championship like run or whatever, probably stood his ground on that one. So.
Don't we
Shout
have,
out to Tony Khan.
I'll do my shout out. Don't we have Brian Danielson on this pre-show panel as well? I'm gonna shout out Brian Danielson coming back to TV and holding down the fort behind the scenes at AEW. One of the best to ever do it. That's my shout out before we get off there.
Is he on commentary for the show too?
He might be.
He might be.
I
At
haven't
least he
seen
should
him
be
on
for
TV yet.
He at least should be for Nigel and
Definitely. I mean, if he's on commentary all of Wednesday, I find it hard to believe he's
Oh my
not.
God, are you kidding me? With his matches with Kenny and like with his matches with the Bucks
that
and
too.
Moxley, he should definitely be on the call for the main event. If Jim Ross isn't,
100%. I could see him getting up off that desk and maybe hitting someone with something or kicking someone's fucking head in.
So Danielson did not show up to the pre-show panel. Here's what Renee
Okay,
said. He's
okay.
a busy man. Maybe he shows up at some point. Maybe he doesn't.
Oh, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this is the
Oh.
guy that learned lying from the best.
I mean, this guy
Cody
learned
Rhodes.
lying from Cody Rhodes. and he
Wrestlers
loves
don't lie,
lying.
guys.
No,
Wrestlers
no,
don't
yeah,
lie. Come on.
actually, Jake's
Yeah,
right.
they-
Jake's right.
I want to give a serious shout out to Stuart Smith, who was the victim of pretty much over the top attack by Raja Jackson, and
Oh,
I
that was
believe
brutal.
the update from Rampage
Awful.
Jackson is that he is conscious, so he's looks to be doing better. But if you've seen it on social media, it's pretty ugly. It's pretty much the ugliest thing we might have seen in a wrestling ring, like where someone just either went too far or went into business for this is far beyond going into business for themselves. This was just brutal. It's like charges should be filed. I think we should all agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
What
it's not
happened there has no place to ever happen in any wrestling ring
Absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Well said, Parthy. And well said, all you gentlemen. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this Sunday morning / afternoon, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, and Instagram for the show where it is not wrestling with your conscience, nor is it wrestling with your budget. Even if you were out at lunch with your Aunt Susie, it's wrestling with emotion.
Batavia now is more, lots more.